Hello again, Capricorn. Dadhichi here from astrology.com.au. It's April 2017 and I have an itchy nose, excuse me. Horrible thing to start the reading off with. Let me have a drink to possibly calm me down a little bit before I give you the news. Brief synopsis, as I said. Saturn, your ruling planet, still there in the 12th house, and with that Pluto in your sun sign, this is what we call force majeure. A lot of what's happening to you seems to be out of your control now. If you have a look at what's going on, you are one of the signs that really does require that measure of control to feel as if you're steering your destiny in the way that you want. That may not be the case right now. You could be struggling with issues of control, not quite knowing how to deal with what life is throwing up. And that's where the big challenge for the goat, those of you under Capricorn, is to breathe and just move in the moment with what's going down. It doesn't mean you relinquish any control. It means you have to be adaptable. Survival of the fittest requires that adaptability. You are pushing forward with a lot of things, as I can see, from Mars and Mercury in your 5th house. Pardon me. And the interesting thing that gives you a bit of a hot-headedness, a bit of a retaliatory response to obstructions that may happen right now. Fortunately, Saturn is in a good aspect to Uranus and Mercury, so hopefully that's going to give you the ability to progressively deal with these changes and not really sort of generate too much friction, which, as Lord Buddha once said, is the source of all suffering. So resist ye not evil. That's another one. Geez, I don't know, I'm getting into the religious stuff here, but I think it's applicable to what we see here. And on the 3rd of the month, lo and behold, that friendly planet of yours, the love planet, Venus, transits back in its retrograde motion into your 3rd house. So this is a contractual area, a communications area of your horoscope. And maybe what's happened is that you, in this hot-headed sort of state with Mars being where it is, you have maybe said something impulsively or offended someone. Here's your chance now with Venus moving back into the 3rd house of communications to softly, gently resolve that. Venus is also a musical, artistic planet, and the 3rd house is considered by some to be an artistic area along with the 5th house. So therefore, this retrograde transit can give you the impulse to, connect with musical people, artistic people, to develop your culture and to communicate on a more refined level. Bear in mind, much of your communication may not go the way you want it to, and that's also highlighted by the retrograde transit of Mercury that we see on the 10th. That retrograde Mercury is notorious for confusing communication, causing people to tear up contracts or regretting them because signing them under the retrogression indicates that you've been a little premature, that sort of thing. So of course, as I've mentioned to all of the star signs this month, with these retrograde planets, and there's another one, by the way, when Saturn goes retrograde on April 6th in its transit, there's another one, especially for you being your ruling planet in your 12th house, having to go back and really make sure that the analysis you've made of your past, the secrets that you have, the things about your personality that you're not comfortable about, are resolved to your satisfaction. That transit of Saturn, your ruler, is going to take a little longer than these other two, but they're all working in conjunction with the retrogression of Jupiter. So this month, along with the nodes, 4 planets plus 2, 6 planets in retrogression, very much about going back and analysing your past. Now I want you to be clear that this is not about getting stuck in the past, and there is the danger, Capricorn, that while all of these planets are going in their retrogression, you may get caught up, you may be fantasizing, 12th house fantasies, The Eastern astrologers call that Sukha Sthana, Sukha bed, Sthana house, Sukha bed pleasures really. So this is also along with the 8th house sexual pleasures, but it's secrets too. So be careful you don't get stuck in the past, good or bad, reminiscing and missing this moment. That's the danger of all of those retrograde planets. So hopefully you'll be using these transits, the retrogradations, to bring you to a state of understanding which can be practically applied to your life to improve things. You do have the ability to connect with family members at this time. The Sun is in a very powerful exalted transit through Aries in your 4th house, along with Uranus. Some unusual, interesting sorts of activities in the home. There may be some activities that don't sit well with you, perhaps relatives that you have to connect with that have never been exactly your cup of tea. That's the problem with family. You can't pick your family. You just have to grin and bear it sometimes. So that could be a challenge for you as well. We talked about the full moon being one of those monthly occurrences that really ramps up the energy that's going to happen in the sign of Libra this month, which is your career sector. That full moon takes place on the 11th. And while that's happening in the proximity of Jupiter, this is the time to really further your professional activities, make that approach to your employer, and particularly if it's a female, you'll have much better luck. Full moon being a female planet or body. She's not exactly a planet, she's a satellite. The new moon takes place in the sign of Taurus. Again, an exceptionally good position. It's in the triangular position to your sun sign and brings with it some new creative activities. For those of you that have just married and are looking forward to children, for some of them, this could be the time to fall pregnant. The new moon in the 5th house along with Mars. Be careful, however, not to strain yourself. Women, Mars in the 5th could show that you're overdoing your exercise regime. In any case, connecting with your inner self, your inner child, your creative impulses, this is perfect. And also a great idea to combine that with the activities and the dating that you may be undergoing with your partner's husband or boyfriend. That's a lovely combination. And the start of new things in that area. I hope to see you again next month. Don't forget, astrology.com.au is my site. We have more on you, Capricorn. Daily, monthly, and yearly readings. Loads of it, and it's all free. So do join us there, and I do hope to see you next month. Take care now. Bye-bye.